And in relation to that, there's some news breaking about MF Global involving JC Flowers, which is a financial services-focused private equity firm. It is poised to lose nearly $50 million as a result of MF Global's collapse because there was exposure.
There are going to be ripple effects all over because of this. Peter Kaufman is president and head of restructuring and distressed M&A at Gordian Group. Great to see you again.
Nice to see you,
Peter.
Great to be here.
All right, so it has assets of $41.1 billion, but it owes about $39.7 billion. That leaves a couple of billion. Is it a company that still has enough assets in it so that it's worthwhile to buy?
Well, it's very unclear, which is why I think you have not seen a sale yet. Gordian Group and I were very involved in the Refco situation, which was the huge commodities broker-dealer that went under a few years ago. And in the circle of life, or in this case perhaps death, the predecessor of MF Global, Man Financial, purchased at fire sale prices the assets from Refco.
Are you seeing any of that here with MF?
Well, I think it's much too soon to see any of this, but let's step back and simplify this complicated picture, because it is complicated, but it's also simple. This company was over-levered 40-1.
Wow.
Crazy.
And it also, this situation also makes very real the global debt crisis. This is tangible stuff. They made a $6 billion bet on this with about $1 billion in capital, and it's now, they had to mark it down, and they can't get financing. And folks who've come in to look at this thing so far haven't bought it. It's very unclear what's going to happen here. I don't think anything good is going to happen here. And that's particularly in this overall environment. I know your previous guest was talking about the junk bond market. Let's look at the facts there. Since July, the junk bond refinancing market, interest rates have gone up 20 to 30%. They've come back down to earth a little bit until this news. But this is a tough environment for, it's going to be a tough environment for companies because of all the bad global news and everything else.
So who would be likely to buy this? I mean, is it just going to be sold off in pieces, or is there enough of MF Global left worth money to hold on to?
Very unclear right now. My best guess is it's going to be sold off in pieces.
Charlie Gasparino is saying that Charles Schwab may be interested in a part of it. There's some other organizations that are looking.
I know that they hold out a hope that someone's going to put in financing and try and take the whole thing. Based on the limited public information I've seen, that's pretty tough.
You mentioned that $6 billion bet, which of course Corzine was 100% behind. He was responsible for a lot of that, for putting his name and the name of the company behind it. 2/3 of that bet was Italy and Greece. 2/3. Do you think that was smart, or was that totally reckless?
Well, when you're a trader, the tally gets marked off, and you say if you win, lose, or draw. He may end up eventually having been correct, but today, when the music stopped, MF couldn't find a chair.
We need to let people know that what Peter does specifically is he comes in after these companies have made these horrific bets, and you pick up the pieces and you help them. So when you look at this, would you say that these people never learn? I mean, you would have thought that people would learn after AIG, and here's John Corzine, who ran Goldman Sachs, coming in here and saying, I'm going to lever this up 40-1. Well, nobody learned anything from this crisis.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised about that. What I am a little bit surprised about is that they had no backup plan. When the news hit last week, they seem to have filed. When you file for bankruptcy without a buyer, without a restructuring plan, that's a desperation filing. To save a situation like this, again, we're very familiar with it because of Refco, you need to go into bankruptcy with your act together with a buyer and get a quick sale.
Hold on one sec. We have some breaking news on MF Global from the Treasury saying that the Financial Stability Oversight Council convened today by conference call to review developments regarding MF Global and received a series of oral reports from the SEC, the CFTC, that's the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, and the Federal Reserve. So more information on that. When you see that there's this emergency call, there was no backup plan.
There was no backup plan, and when the horse buggy hit the fan, they clearly weren't ready, and they went into Chapter 11 in a very bad way. The bondholders are going to be really hurt.
How many more MF Globals are there?
I don't know, but you're going to see a lot more investor scrutiny of over-levered companies, over-levered financial institutions.
Wouldn't we have seen that after Bear Stearns?
And entities that own these global securities, these global sovereign debt.
Peter Kaufman, Gordian Group. Thank you very much, Peter. Good
nice
to see
be
you.
here.
Appreciate it.
Peter.
Well, a historic storm over the weekend.